Good morning. We are at West Kirby Marina. I'm going to waffle for a bit, so excuse me. Summer is coming, and summer means very early sunrises, very late sunsets, and very long days in between. And personally, I find for landscape photography that it all gets a bit tiring, to say the least. I've no objection to getting up at daft o'clock in the morning, and I've no objection to staying out till daft o'clock at night. And it's the gap in between that causes me an issue. So this year I have set myself a project. I have chosen between 12 and 15 separate locations. I'm aware we're on the wonk, just bear with me a second. That's better, a bit. Along the west coast, because it would be so easy to head back to Northumberland. But I thought, no, I really fancy coming out to the west coast. When I say locations, it's objects and subjects that I want to photograph. But to make life just a little bit more difficult, they have to meet one of three criteria. I am looking at mono, negative space, and minimal. Some objects, some locations will be colour images. Some will turn into mono. Some will be shot with the intention of being mono. Others, like this morning, I came here intending to do a mono image and combine that with minimal. I've popped the 0.6 reverse grad on, and being a high-tech filter, it's actually picked up some colour that the eye can't see. And I think this one may be a minimal colour image. The reason for doing this is I'm not entirely dependent on getting up for sunrise, although I'm here this morning. I'm not reliant on the weather. If I get up and it is rubbish weather and it's grey and cloudy, that will be absolutely fabulous for creating minimal images, for creating mono images. The negative space will work whether it's colour or mono. Now, I'm not going to do all the vlogs in one go. A lot of it is tide dependent. Now, high tide is roughly about 40 minutes away. And if I just spin you around here, I think it's going to be very low high tide, because that stretch of yellow there should have water on it in high tide, and I don't see any way on God's green earth that that is going to get covered in water. So one of the one of the images I've come to get today isn't going to happen because the tide isn't high enough. So it's also a learning curve, which is really fun. So if you give me a second, I'm going to show you what I've been up to. So that's what I'm getting on the camera. I've got the little jetty, which is perfectly placed for photographers, leading out, and I've got a very nothing sky. There is actually more colour to it than that. But as a minimal subject, I think that works quite well. I've done some with more of the jetty in view, and I'm doing it on a long exposure because I want that kind of ethereal feel to it. And as a start off, I think that's actually worked quite well. Gimbal's giving me jip this morning. What's up with you? That's better. We are starting to get a little bit of colour in the sky, but I really wasn't concerned. Yeah, we are getting a lot of colour in the sky over here, but I really wasn't concerned about getting colour this morning because I want to do minimal and I want to do mono. So it really is not an issue. This is also going to be a project that is more about my processing skills. I am going to teach myself, I hope, to create an image that, I don't know, it sounds very pretentious, that is more along the lines of fine art, that starts off with the base image that I've taken but ends up not related to it other than having the main subject. I'm really not sure if I'm making any sense. I can't articulate correctly what I mean to say. I will be taking the base image. I will put up on the videos the original image that I took, and then I will put up the processed image. Each of the locations I have in mind, I have already pre-visualised how I want the images to appear. And I'm hoping that they're going to work together as a set of images. It does sound very pretentious, and I apologise for that. So yeah, it's going to push me a little bit more outside my comfort zone with the processing. Having a pre-visualised idea of how I want the image to finish up is the fairly essential part of this project. And it should teach me a lot. And I need to learn. I am completely inspired by a photographer called Neil Burnell. He does some phenomenal work. And that's what I'm aspiring to. He's the guy who's inspired me to try this out. So thanks, Neil. I very much doubt you'll ever rehear this, but thank you anyway. Your work is stunning. And on that note, I'm going to stop waffling and crack on and take some images, because I think I need to put my 6-stop in. Over the other side, where you gone? Oh yeah. Over the other side of the marina, so you just see one there. There is another jetty. In fact, there's 2 more jetties over there. And I want to have a look and see. I make my life harder by going over there, because I will have to get rid of this hill when I do post-processing. But it's all part of the fun. In terms of image data, yes, I'm waffling along quite merrily. I was shooting at f13 ISO 100. No, sorry, f11 ISO 100, and that last image you saw was 15 seconds. I'm shooting in portrait orientation at the moment, and I'm going to have a go at landscape orientation, but over there. Catch you in a bit. Hey, I've moved over to one of the other jetties. There we go, and I've come down really, really low. You can see the beautiful cloud in the sky. And because the high-tech filter gives a bit of a colour cast, it's actually bringing out the dawn colours. Now, this image, I'm going to have an awful lot more post-processing to do than the one over there. I apologise for spinning you around. I'm getting in some of the hill on the horizon. There's various buoys, and I'm getting the end of I'm getting the walkway in at the far end of the marina. So there's going to be more processing to do to this one to create a seamless transition. Where we're in the dark, hold on, that's better. To create a seamless transition between the smooth water and the sky. I'm not sure how that one's going to work, but I'm going to have a go. If I spin you around, I'll show you what we're doing with the camera. Right, so as you can see, I've got the tripod on not on its lowest setting, but certainly with all the legs collapsed. And I've got the jetty coming in from the lower right-hand side and leading out. And you can just see the darker line, which is the horizon and the end, or the walkway, because there's a walkway that runs the whole way around this marina. So yeah, but I think that works as a minimal. That's an exposure time of about 35 seconds, I believe. Oh, 43 seconds. And I think I can push it further than that. So I'm going to just have a little go at that. So yeah, oh, you can see some colour back there. So I'm going to push the exposure slightly further than that, because I want it really light. It's going to make more sense to you, I think, when you see the finished images. I can't believe how quiet it is down here. I mean, I know it's daft o'clock on a Sunday morning. It's got to be just gone 7. Sunrise was at 6:20. So it's probably heading up towards 7 o'clock. I suppose most sane people are still in bed. And that's one of the cracking things about summer sunrises. Any normal person's still in bed. So other than photographers, you've got the place pretty much to yourself, which is awesome. I like that. As I say, I'm trying to create a cohesive set of images for the West Coast that I could display as a group. God, I'm sounding pretentious this morning. Now you may be able to see that the light is starting to come through, the sun's come up. I've moved over to the other jetty and it's just lighting up the side of this one. So what I'm going to try and do is get another minimal image. I'm going back to portrait orientation. I'm going to have a long jetty. There's very little detail in the sky, which is fine. I'm just going to level it up right over to the edge. I think there's going to be a little bit of cloning work today. So it's just getting the end of the buildings in on this side. Now I've got my polarizer on, which I really don't think I'm going to need, so I'm just going to take that off. Or not, as the case may be, because being the leaf polarizer, it doesn't want to come off. So I'm just going to try and minimise the effect. I have a 0.6 hard grad. I'm going to bang the 6 stop in, and off we go. I'm just going to shield the side of the filter holder with my hand, because the sun is coming directly in and will possibly create some light leak. Right, because the sun is so strong, I think we're going to be about 15 seconds. Whew. Oh, and by the way, it's 2 degrees. It's flipping freezing. I wasn't expecting it to be that cold this morning. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, 15 seconds is the right exposure time. I'm happy enough with the composition. I'm just going to take a wander out. The nice thing about these jetties is they're concrete, so you don't suffer with any movement. And we'll have the jetty coming in from the bottom right hand corner of the image. Let's level it up. I'm getting better at levelling. Refocus. That light's just getting better and better. Mirror up, as always. 15 seconds. Oh, I'm giddy. So I am just going to pop the 10 stop in and have a go for the hell of it. Why not? I'm here. This project is going to go, I would imagine it's going to run for a year. Although I'm not dependent on sunrise colour and sunset colour, I am, to a point, dependent on the tides. I have no problem for this project shooting in the middle of the day. It's still not ideal because the light is harsh, and that will affect the images, even if they're mono images. So ideally I still want to be sunrise and sunsets and the golden hours and the blue hours, but getting the colour in the sky isn't as important as a normal sunrise shoot would be. So as I say, because of the way the tides fall, this isn't going to be a project that I can do bang, 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 1 week after the next. It's going to evolve over a period, I suspect, of 12 months. And as I say, I've got a minimum of 10, maybe 12 locations, and I'm sure as I work my way up the west coast, I will find more. So that's it from me. I'm going to go have some breakfast because I'm piggy and freezing, and I desperately need a cup of tea. Thanks for coming along. Let me know what you think of the images. As I say, we're going to be verging more on art than photography, if that makes any sense. And I'll see you again next Sunday, when we'll be doing probably something completely different. Bye for now.